Hello, everybody. Good afternoon to you, or good evening, wherever you are in the world. So, I wanted to do a bit of a shorter video talking about a certain moment that happened in Chantal's latest food video. I'm sure all of you are aware of it. If you've been on Twitter, if you've been around some reaction channels, then you know what moment I'm talking about. And the moment in question is during the latest food video that Foodie put out. She started out the video in good spirits. She was eating her meal. And then at the 16-minute mark, those who saw the video through myself or reaction channel, you saw that moment and you heard the moment where you heard the sound of a door opening and closing. And then her demeanor completely changed. She went from being happy to being sullen and sulky and angry and irritated. And she just shook her head and said, I just want to eat. And then, interestingly enough, the end of the video wasn't a normal ending where she normally finishes her food and says, bye, guys, I'll see you later. She just ended the video. She added a little filler screen afterwards saying, sorry, guys, uh, my camera ran out of power or ran out of memory. And that's the reason why I ended it that way. But interestingly enough, Chantal has done live streams that went on for hours in the past, and her phone never ran out of power or memory for those. So, isn't it funny that this less than 20-minute video suddenly her phone runs out of power or memory? Interesting, isn't it? So, I had my thoughts on that little moment in her video, what I think was going on. Want to give my thoughts to that. Also, I would like to go over a video that was just dropped by the channel called What's Happening. They did a little clip video, uh, things that Chantal has done in the past, her talking about her problem with food, because it's a really good video. And I want to give full credit to What's Happening for the video. The video is titled Foodie Beauty Describes How Bad Mukbangs Are for Her Severe Food Addiction, March 2020. So I want to show that video. I'm going to put a link for the video in the description of this video. And I do encourage everyone to check out What's Happening and give them a like, maybe comment on the video and let them know how much you liked it. But we'll get to that part a little bit later. So, first things first, let's start with the clip in question, the one where she literally got caught. I want to bring it up on the screen and show it to you guys one more time for context. And this is courtesy of, let me find the Twitter account because I do like to give credit for things they post. This is from Loretta H saying in her latest feeding video around 16 minutes, 20 seconds, you can hear the door open and her whole demeanor changes. She says, I just want to eat, while shaking her head. Trouble in paradise, eh? So let's watch the clip together. It's only just a few seconds. There we go. That was the sound of the door. Now, before we even heard the sound of the doorknob, I'm watching her closely. I felt her stiffen up. Maybe we heard the sound of the door, but because she's there in person, she also heard the sound of the keys in the lock. And she knew what was coming. And she had that moment in her head of, he's coming in. And I can't get up fast enough and clean things up fast enough to where he won't know what's going on. She's been caught. So she heard the sound of the keys in the door because they do have that large key ring of keys. She probably heard that, heard the sound of the key in the lock, and she knew she was busted. So she's immediately going into defensive mode.
I just want to eat.
Now, anybody who's ever been in a relationship with another person and you've ever gotten in trouble with your partner, like arguments about to start, you might go into defensive mode and just say to them, like, don't start with me. Don't start. I know what you're going to do. I know what you're going to say. Don't start with me. This is her version of that. She's sitting in front of her camera. She knows what's coming. She's letting him know by shaking her head, look, I'm on camera right now. I'm filming and I'm going to do what I want to do. I just want to eat. Don't bug me right now. I'm making a video. I just want to eat. This is her being defiant.
I just want to eat.
That's her just saying, look, don't get me started, Slaw. Don't. That head shake was for him. It wasn't for us. It wasn't for the video. That head shake added nothing to the video. She's busted. She's busted. Watching this moment in her video, I kept thinking of a comment that somebody left on one of her other food videos. I'll never forget this comment because somebody in her comment section, they asked her to have a binge moment on camera. They said, can you do a binge moment on camera for us? And I immediately had a visceral reaction to that, seeing as I'm someone that I have BED in recovery. My visceral immediate reaction was, why would you suggest that? It's a horrible idea. That was a completely visceral reaction to that comment. Like, why would anybody suggest something like that? But looking at it from another side, I understood why they were asking that question and why they wanted that. It's because if you're someone you've never dealt with BED and you've got someone in front of you trying to claim this is not a binge, then of course you want some sort of example because you're not sure what a binge looks like and what it doesn't look like. What is a binge versus a normal meal? I feel Chantal takes advantage of the fact that not everybody knows about problems with food. They're not familiar with what is a binge versus what isn't a binge. She takes full advantage of that. So she tries to paint her own picture, trying to fool everybody. Oh, a binge, according to Chantal, is you have a massive amount of food in front of you and you're eating it all at once. That's a binge. Let me be the first to tell you that a binge takes many forms and many shapes. It can look like a lot of things. It can be a lot of things. A binge could be eating small amounts of food, one right behind the other for hours. And she's done that in the past. Anybody who remembers her being at the villa and taking the edibles, and she would eat chips and then go on to the pickled beans and then this and then that and then this and then that. That was a binge. She was binging that night. She was binging those nights that she did that. A binge could be eating a meal like this, which, by the way, this was almost 5,000 calories, which is insane. But a binge could be her eating this meal and then 2 hours later eating again. And then after that meal, eating again. So it doesn't have to be a whole table full of food all at once. It could be a certain amount in one sitting, and a little bit later, you're eating again. And then a little bit later, you're eating again. Sometimes because those who are not familiar with BED, if they have just the one picture of BED in their head, they're going to go with that because that's all they know. But understand that BED can look like a lot of things. It can be a lot of things. It's not one size fits all. What she's doing right here is a binge. Period. End of. Full stop. That's a binge. Just because it doesn't look like a huge amount of food in front of her, even though it is, just because it's not a whole long table full of food doesn't mean it's not a binge. And what also is defining of a binge for those who have BED is when you binge, you do it in private. It is a private thing. There's an element of embarrassment attached to it and an element of shame. A lot of people who binge, they do it in private. They don't want anybody to know, they don't want anybody to see. Now, some might argue, well, she's doing it on camera, right? She's showing us what she's doing. Yes, because she wants to monetize her binges. That's why. Also, Chantal likes the idea of doing something she's not supposed to do. She really gets a kick out of that. She likes being a bad girl. And she knows that by eating on camera, it irritates people. So she does it for that reason also. But she wants to monetize her problem. She doesn't want to fix her problem. So because she wants to make money on it, she has to put it on video where everybody can see and then put it on YouTube. But she's sitting in her living room on that floor eating. There's nobody else in the room. Yes, the camera is running, but those who see her, we see it after the fact, after it's over, not while it's going on. We're not in the room to give her any kind of criticism. So yes, she is binging. She's doing it in her home. There's no one else there. And then when Salah walks in, she's embarrassed. She's defensive. So how can you sit there and say that's not a binge, Chantal? When clearly you're doing something that is somebody that actually knows you and can actually see you and walk in the room and they see it, you're embarrassed because you don't want them to see you. By doing these videos in your home, you're hiding it from him. You want to be able to do it and get away with it. And once they find out about it, it's too late. The food's already eaten. So this is a binge. You don't have to have a whole spread of food in front of you for it to be a binge. It could be a 5,000 calorie meal, which is probably twice what you need as far as your calorie intake for the day. This is a binge. No way to get around it. It's a freaking binge. But her visceral reaction to him being there is very, very telling. She doesn't want to change her problems. She wants to monetize her problem. She doesn't want anybody telling her what she's doing is wrong or tell her to stop or slow down. That was the clip. That was the clip from Loretta H. The video ended abruptly. She didn't say goodbye to everybody. And when he walked in the room, she didn't say, "Oh, hi, handsomest man." Also very telling. This person that she says loves her so much and is supportive of her, if he was so supportive, why, when he walked in the room, was she irritated? It's because she was doing something she wasn't supposed to do. I don't know what arrangement they have between them. If she could only maybe do one mukbang a day and she's doing an extra one and she's not supposed to. I don't know what's going on between those two. But if Salah thinks that he could just make money off of Chantal and her problem, he can get the nice expensive iPhone and the computer and the car and let her continue like this and there's going to be no repercussions for this, he's dead wrong. I think it's disgusting, Salah, that you're over there. You see she has a problem. She's got a serious problem. You're making money off of an addict, bro. You're making money off of an addict and their addiction. And you realize it's out of control and you're not putting a stop to it. You're not pulling away from this crap. What you want to do is tame the beast and get the benefits of their problem with food. But what are you going to do if something happens to her? What are you going to do if she ends up in the hospital or worse? You ever stop and think about that? What are you going to do if she becomes bedbound? You're going to be there for her to clean her off, to feed her, to give her some kind of medical care. You're not a nurse. It seems to me that you realize she's got a problem with food and you're trying to slow her down from eating so much, but the more you try to slow her down, the more she wants to speed up. Nobody can stop Chantal from her doing what she wants to do. The only person that can stop her is her, and she doesn't want to stop. She is literally choosing addiction over life. She knows she's got an issue and she doesn't want to fix it. She just wants to continue monetizing it and trying to find ways around the YouTube policy to continue what she's doing. She does not want to take another path. Now, let's go on to the community post, because also very telling was this community post that she did directly after the video. And a lot of the things that she said, that she's using the YouTube community, but really if you take out the words YouTube community and you add in Salah's name, it would fit. It'd be a perfect fit. She says, listen, at this point, I get some of you feel the need to try to dictate what I eat. That wasn't for us, y'all. That statement was not for us. That was for Salah, because we don't live with Chantal. We're not trying to dictate what she eats. Salah's been trying that, though, with the diet boxes. He's been trying to tell her what to eat. So that really was for him. Well, you are right. You have the right to comment what you want since YouTube provides that feature. YouTube also provides a block feature. This could be another statement that was aimed towards Salah. Translation, dude, you can say what you want to me, but I can choose to ignore you. And I'm going to ignore you. I'm going to block you out. I'm going to put you on ignore. I'm going to stuff up my ears anytime you yell at me and give your criticism. I have decided to go back blocking negative comments regarding what I choose to eat. In other words, she's ignoring you, Salah. Your words are falling on deaf ears. It really exacerbates my attitude towards food, and I don't need that negativity. So what she's saying to Salah is, look, the more you come at me and you tell me not to eat in defiance, the more I'm going to eat just to piss you off. Because as I've said, nobody tells Chantal what to do. She's on a path and she doesn't want anybody telling her she can't be on that path. YouTube changes the policies, it doesn't matter. She'll tiptoe all the way around them so she can continue with the food content. Feel free to comment on reaction channels or hate channels because I won't allow it here anymore. You know what's really interesting about you, foodie? You spend so much time going around to the reaction channels, checking out the live chats, going on to their comment sections, going on to Twitter. You're all about that life of blocking hateful words or critical words that have anything to do with you. You spend so much energy focusing on other people's words and saying that those words damage you. But what about the damage you do to yourself? Every time you sit down and you do a binge video, and yeah, I'm going to call it that because that's what they are. When you sit down and you binge on camera and you're eating massive amounts of food, you're putting down 4, 5, 6,000 calories in one sitting. You're hurting yourself, and you know you are. And you want everybody to watch. That's the wild thing. You want everybody to watch. Hey, everybody, watch me hurt myself. Pay me for it, YouTube. That's the attitude. But you're so concerned with words. What about what's on your plate? What about what you put on your plate that you then put inside yourself? That's doing far more damage than any words anybody else on the internet could ever say. You're deflecting. You know you're hurting yourself. You know you're on a bad path. You know your health is getting worse. You know you are hurting yourself, and you're trying to act like it's everybody else's fault and we're hurting you the most. No, you're hurting yourself the most. You are, and you have been. But let's blame shift on other people. We're not the cause of your health problems. We are not the cause of your lack of mobility. We are not the cause of your lack of health. You willingly, knowingly, and eagerly decided to go down that path where you knew long ago you had a problem with food, but you did not want to fix it because you got on YouTube and you said, hey, I'm going to take this problem and I'm going to make it profitable. I'm going to take my ED and give it a job. I'm going to put it to work. And so you did. And so you did. And you traded your health for a paycheck, for many paychecks. And you were not made healthier by taking that path, but you did. At any time, I'm allowed to change my content, my mind, and my direction of life without your approval or permission. Again, another statement for Salah. Her saying, I'll do what I want, Salah, back off. I'm the one with the channel. I'm the one paying for that car, that cell phone, that laptop, those groceries. I'll do what I want. I don't feel bad for Salah. He signed on to this crap. But I also know that Foodie, she lies. She's probably made him a ton of promises about traveling and going places, and he's been believing her bullshit. I think he's getting a clue that she's a liar, that she's a manipulator, and she will always be. They're never going to go anywhere. They're never going to do anything. All she wants to do is sit in that apartment and eat and get more unhealthy. Yeah, it's time to get the clue, Salah. Buy it, borrow it, steal it if you have to, but get that clue and use it. So yeah, that was the community post that she did. So she's still being defiant. I don't know what's going on in Foodieverse as far as what's going on with her and Salah. She's been in a rotten mood for days. Really rotten mood. Maybe she's angry over him talking to other women in other chat rooms, even though he's not saying anything dirty. She's insecure and she's jealous and she's bothered. And that's another thing, Foodie. That's another thing. You are such a manipulating, controlling person. I'm seriously wondering, Mama, if you are using your ED as a way to manipulate Salah. Because it kind of feels like you are. If you get mad because he goes off and he does things at night without you, he goes to spend time with family or friends, he has a life outside the house, but you want him there 24/7. So when you're angry at him, you'll sit there and you'll eat, and then you'll turn right around and say, it's your fault, Salah. You weren't here. You weren't here to stop me from eating. You left me alone. See what happens when you leave me alone? You can't leave me alone. Are you using your ED as a way to manipulate him to spend more time around you? To guilt trip him to spend time around you? Because if that's going on, that's fucked up. Stop doing that. Controlling somebody to spend time with you doesn't mean they're going to be happy spending time with you. They're going to be resentful. They're going to be angry. And it's going to lead to a lot of tension. So if that's going on, you might want to cut that shit out. Okay. Now, this just dropped, and I wanted to include this in with my video. It's a really well done video. And this is from What's Happening. I'm going to give a link for the video. I'm going to put it in the description. Full credit to What's Happening. Because this goes back to the Chantal history. How she goes through these cycles of, I got a problem with food. I'm not going to do mukbang content anymore. And then she'll go ahead and do it. I also want to include some of the comments on that video because a lot of people had some very important points that I really, really liked. So again, full credit to what's happening. Please check out their channel. I am subscribed already. Before we get started with the video, let's go on to the comments. RY says, whenever she's self-aware, it feels more like an attempted grift than anything. Yeah, it kind of does feel like that. Beach Babe says, she does this performance act when a man is involved and is tired of her gluttony and lies. Bibi, Nader, Salah, same old, same old. Right. If the men in her life, they get sick of her behavior, they get angry with her, then she'll act sad and I'm going to change. I promise to change, just so they won't leave her. And she manipulates them to stay. This comment from Violet Pickles. Chantal also said she wanted to buy love. Whenever she puts everything on the internet, someone will call her bluff. Salah did. Chantal bought a husband, will try to grow and maintain his channel. Goal achieved. She has a bought husband who now has a decent place to sleep, a new car, and quit his job, according to his friend. Chantal bought shares in a romance scam, and now she has to perform in her own little circus, and that involves eating massive amounts of food to earn money and get those side hustles from the feeders. The video here, she was with Bibi, who she was desperate to keep, and she failed, and Bibi kicked her to the curb. Girl is just surviving with only skills she has, being a disgusting eating machine. Right. Like, what else could she offer YouTube? There's a variety of things she could do on YouTube, but honestly, if YouTube went to Chantal tomorrow and said, Chantal, you have a problem with food. Because of that, we are not allowing you to eat on camera anymore. You can have your channel, but food cannot be involved. She wouldn't know what to do. She honestly would not know what to do. She'd be at a standstill. She wouldn't know what direction to take beyond eating. This is her living, eating on camera. But if YouTube shut her down completely and said, you can have your channel, but that can't be involved, everything would come to a screeching halt. Barbie says she's aware of what it does to her, and she says there is no fulfillment from when she does this. It's effortless for her to stuff her face. She feels guilty. The sad thing is she won't get help and thinks she can figure out a way to do it alone, or that love of a man is going to straighten things out for her. She needs to read the book Feeding the Hungry Heart by Janine Roth and get help from a professional. I agree. I think she needs more than reading a book. I've never read that book. I'm sure it's a good book, but she needs inpatient, period. She needs to be in a place where nobody's going to give in to her tantrums. She needs to be surrounded by people telling her no, not yes. Part of her problem is that she surrounds herself with yes people who encourage this behavior versus no people that'll put a stop to it or help her put a stop to it. Calypso says the future proves the past. The freaking future proves the past, right? The more things change, the more they stay the same. So let's watch the clip from what's happening. Again, I will put the link in the description. Please go check out their video and give them a like and a comment because it was really well done. So let's watch together.
To not do mukbangs on my channel. I've decided not only to not do mukbangs, but to, in general, not make food a theme on this channel. Especially not one that involves indulging in food, indulging in trigger foods. And I've done this many times.
Yep, exactly what you're doing now. And I got a feeling, I don't know what was going on during this time period, like all the way back. There's so much content for Chantal. It's hard to remember every single moment. But I just get this feeling that when she did this video is because she got in trouble with Bibi. She got in trouble with him. I do remember that when she was with BB, she hid her problem with food from BB for the longest. And then there was a situation of pizza boxes being stored in a closet and there was a roach infestation. And I think that's when BB had enough of her nonsense and kicked her out. But this might be when she was riding on thin ice with BB. And so just trying to make good with BB, she did this video like, I'm going to change and I can't do this food content because she was in trouble with her man.
Before on my channel, so those of you who are not new to the circus know what probably guessed that this would happen or predicted that this would happen just based on the patterns I have demonstrated on my channel. So I don't blame you there. But there's a few things, other realizations that I've come to that are the nails in the mukbang coffin for my channel. And I started my channel back in 2017 and I did a few makeup videos and then hopped on the mukbang trend.
But I thought you didn't follow trends, Chantal. You go on TikTok and you criticize people for following trends, but you just self-confessed here that you hopped on the mukbang trend. You hopped on it and you went wild with it. You said to yourself, I love food. And here's this trend of people doing videos where they're eating food. What a perfect match. I love to eat. Maybe I could turn this trend and these videos that people are doing about eating food, maybe I can do that too, and I can make money. And so you did. You knew all the way back then you had a problem with food. So you didn't have the thought in your head that maybe this is a bad idea for me. Other people can do it because they don't have a problem with food. And they can do it and it's perfectly fine. But I do have a problem. Did it ever occur to you that because you've got a problem with food, that train could easily speed out of control? No, all you were concerned about was, I have a channel, I want my channel to grow, I want to attract people to my channel, so I'm going to follow this trend, even though I have no business indulging in it because I'm already unhealthy, and that's going to promote me being more unhealthy.
I grew my channel that way. I always struggled with food. I always had issues with food, but I never realized how much of a food addict I was, how much I had disordered eating. I never realized that at the time. It took a few.
You know what I hate about your content anymore, Chantal? The fact that everything is selective. When you want to glorify your eating problem and make money off it, you'll select that. When you want to gain sympathy from the audience and try to connect with people in your audience about a certain issue, then you'll select that. You'll even claim things that aren't true just to try to gain sympathy from the audience. And yeah, I'm talking about the deviant essay, you bitch, because we know you lied. I'm calling you right now. You lied about those things. Those things never happened to you, but you want to claim they happened to you just because you know there are people in your audience that have dealt with that. And you made a lot of money during that arc, didn't you? Talking about those things. You're a fake, phony victim. You claim those things happened to you just because you wanted to find people in your audience that would feel a certain kind of way and they would send super chats, and they did. You made a lot of money off that crap. And now here we are. You can't talk about deviant essay right now because you're with Salah. He's not doing anything physically to you. So what are we left with? You trying to monetize your ED in one way or another. Either monetize it by indulging in the food on camera or talking about your quote unquote struggles. And I'm looking at you and you're someone, you've never put up a fight when it comes to food. You've never put up a fight. Never. You've always dove right in. You're even defiant to anyone or anything that tells you you shouldn't be eating on camera. So you're not really struggling. The only thing you're struggling with now these days is trying to find a way around the new YouTube policies that tell you you can't do what you're doing. You tiptoe all the way around them because you are determined to eat food on camera and make money because it's lazy content for you. You don't care that it's hurting you. You don't care if it's making you sick. You don't care about the fact that you're having trouble finding clothes to fit you. You don't care about the fact that just walking across the room makes you out of breath. All you care about is getting that money. But making that money is costing you something more valuable, your health. But you don't give a damn about that. You care about keeping everything that's in your world going. And the only thing that's keeping it going is that money. A little serious question for you, Chantal. A little bit morbid, but it needs to be said. So you're trading your health for a paycheck. What if something happens to you? What if something serious happens to you and you land in the hospital for 3 weeks or more? Who's going to take care of you then? Do you think Salah's going to be visiting you every day at the hospital? Who's going to be paying your bills, paying that rent while you're away? He's not going to. If you become bedbound, do you think he's going to take care of you then there too? No. He'll take off. That paycheck is the only thing keeping everything going. And that's a very slippery slope. Because the more you eat, the more weight you gain, the sicker you become. And if something happens to you, you got nothing to fall back on.
A few years after starting mukbangs to really unravel what's going on, and I'm still very much right in the throes of everything, of the disease. And yes, because of that, I don't think it is healthy for me to be obsessed with food on my channel. Because for me to beat this, the only way as a severe food addict is to keep things clean and simple.
Y'all heard that, right? You just heard that part, didn't you? She just said out of her own mouth, I'm a severe food addict. She just said it. I'm a severe food addict. And you guys just saw the video that I played for you. She swears that's not a binge. And it was. She had a lot of food in front of her. That meal by itself was 5,000 calories. And she has said she eats every 2 hours. So you can imagine what those meals look like and how many calories she's putting away per day. But she's not binging, y'all. Those meals are not binges. Just because there's not X amount of foods in front of her, that's not a binge. Bullshit. They are. And even if they're not, you got a problem with food, it's a bad idea to put food in front of you and make it into content. Because you know, Chantal, that can go sideways real quick, and it has. It's gone sideways so much that you are where you are right now. With that labored breathing, with the lack of mobility, having trouble finding clothes to fit. Everything you wear these days is too tight. Come on now. Like, how bad does it have to get before you wake all the way up?
When it comes to eating and abstinent and the very act of mukbanging, I've tried to make it healthy. I've tried to turn a blind eye, which is not good, but I've tried to make healthy mukbangs. And I still find myself, it is a slippery slope, and I know a lot of you have said that, but I'm stubborn and I don't listen to people. And that is
right. You don't listen to people. So in the past, when you come to your audience and say, I want to eat healthy, I'm going to eat healthy, guys. I'm going to go on a health journey. People on your channel many times have gotten behind that. You never had a moment where your audience said to you, Chantal, if you don't eat unhealthy food, we're going to leave. Never has that happened. Never has your audience said to you, we're all going to leave and you're going to have a dead channel unless you eat healthy food. They never held you hostage like that. There were many people that got behind you and said, we're still here. If you get on a health journey, we are still here. We support that. We support you improving your life. So you took them on a very brief health journey, and then you turned around and went right back to what you were doing, and those people in your audience that were hoping and praying for you, they will come to you and say, "What happened? You told us one thing. What is this?" And then you would get mad at them and say, "I do what I want. Don't criticize me. Block, block, block." It's a vicious cycle. You set people up, you give them hope for something, and then you take it away. All when you don't have to. You're on your channel, you can do whatever you want with it. You can choose to be healthy. You can choose to have a good life. You choose to have a bad life, full of unhappiness, full of unhealthy moments, and it's all your fault because this is what you choose.
Is that is a very negative trait to have. Basically, just the short of it is, as a food addict, it's a slippery slope for me to say I'm going to do healthy mukbangs, and then I find myself wanting to be more entertaining in the mukbang.
You know how you avoid the slippery slope? Don't get it on it in the first place. That's how you avoid it. If you're standing on a slope and it's slippery, you get off that thing. You go somewhere else. You don't stand at the top and say, "Should I slide down this thing or shouldn't I?" No, you stay away from it. That's how you avoid it. If you know something is bad for you or could be bad for you, you don't go there. You stay away from it. You got a problem with food? Don't use food as your content. Simple.
Way, you see Nikocado, you see Steven Sushi, you see other bigger mukbangers who have more success in that community, and they actually do a really big display of food. And
just because somebody else is doing something doesn't mean you have to do it too. You can't use that whataboutism, Chantal. What about this person? What about that person? Don't look at the other people. Look at you. What's going on with you? Think about yourself. Look at yourself and say, "I got a problem with food. I know I do. I've got severe issues with food. Maybe I shouldn't do this crap. Maybe it's bad for me." Look at it that way. Don't compare yourself to other people. They have different situations going on. Look at yourself. Look at it. You get a severe problem with food, you stay away from the thing that you know you don't have control of.
I find myself leaning towards that when I do mukbangs, like with the 5 tacos and the 2 burgers or whatever. And I find ways to justify it with trying intermittent fasting and all this and that. And it's just,
You know what? Cut the shit, Chantal. Cut it out. Just stop it. Tell the real truth. If you're going to tell the truth, tell it all. Because if you won't, I will. I think you have a problem with food. I think that when you wandered onto YouTube and the mukbang train was going on, you were all too eager to hop on it. Also, considering your interest in food, you know that if you went on some kind of other fetish related site or adult site that might cater to those who eat food for the profit of others, the enjoyment of others, you would have serious competition. If you went on a site like, say, OnlyFans or perhaps some other adult site, where there'd be lots of other people that doing the same kind of content, you would have competition. You would have to deal with that competition. What you did, mama, was that you came to YouTube and essentially you turned your YouTube channel into a fetish channel, catering to all different kinds of fetish groups, catering to those feeders. You might have even catered to those who have a fetish for those who live in a sloppy, dirty, disgusting way. Because yes, those exist, y'all. There are people out there that their jam is living in filth. You might have been catering to them. There are different subsets of feeders. There are the feeders, the ones who want to watch you eat. There are the gainers, the guys that they get into people gaining weight. Then you have the immobilizers, guys who like seeing people that are big having trouble doing the simplest of things. So there's different subfolders for the main folder. She even brought in elements of BDSM for a time. And those who do drugs. She was trying to cater to different genres of people And essentially, she turned her channel into a fetish-based channel, because some of the fetish people, they pay big money for their fetishes. And there were many live streams and videos that Chantal did where I can tell you 1,000% that she was taking requests from feeders off YouTube and they were paying her for it. She might have been doing custom content in the form of pictures or video, and she would take the requests, do the videos, and then double dip and put them on YouTube and make twice as much money. Yep. Because Chantal is a creature of habit. She'll pick one food and eat that for weeks. So if you see her eating something different, something she would normally eat, that was probably a feeder request. So she turned her channel into a fetish channel, doing it in a form that wasn't completely adult. Because on YouTube, there wasn't as much competition. There aren't as many people offering the feeder fetish content on YouTube as, say, OnlyFans or some other adult site. She had a 100% audience, but she was only interested in that 25% that they would maybe pay her for stuff off YouTube on the side. But they would keep coming back to her channel, maybe throwing those big super chats. They were the people that were enabling her and encouraging her, talking about food, encouraging her to go on those late night drives to the drive-ins and go get an ice cream, Chantal, eat a cake, Chantal. Yeah, she was looking for those people to keep that narrative alive, to keep that mindset alive. She wasn't interested in breaking it. She wasn't interested in breaking it then. She's not interested in breaking it now. Because here we are, 2023, and she's still insisting on eating. To the point where that last clip I just showed you, I just want to eat. She doesn't want to break the cycle. She wants to keep it going.
It's just not healthy eating that kind of food, period. That food, just when I eat it, no matter how long I intermittent fast, no matter how healthy I eat after, I'm finding that I still feel like crap. I still feel the effects of, if I eat a really fatty meal, really unhealthy meal, my heart beats faster. I need to lay down. It's just horrible feeling. And I just want to keep it simple when it comes to food. And I want to invest the money I save on mukbangs, on food, which I spend a ton of money on food. Like, I don't have.
Yeah. And for those, just a reminder, Chantal once told us that she spends $4,000, $6,000 a month on food. Insane. That's not counting the money that she was spending at the dispensary. She spent thousands of dollars a month at dispensary when she was partaking of the green once she was in Canada. That's not also counting the other party favors that she was getting from Natter. So a lot of money spent on stuff that she did not need and was bad for her. And has she stopped? In Kuwait? No. Because she's still doing the one thing that she should not be doing. Unhealthy eating when she's got so many other alternatives. She's not interested in her health. She's interested in just keeping this whole mukbang feeder YouTube train going. She's putting fuel in that engine. She's not trying to stop that train at all.
Have money for anything else because I spend it on food. And that, I could use that money to do more fulfilling things on my channel, which brings me to another nail in the mukbang coffin. I don't feel fulfillment. Overall, when I really analyze how I'm feeling after a mukbang, I feel like I do after I have a binge. I feel not right deep down because I know deep down what I'm doing is not right. And I just choose to ignore that just so that I can.
There we go. I choose to ignore that. Little theory. Y'all remember back in the day when Chantal used to do that thing on camera where she would say, shh, I said, shh. I got a theory. Just a theory now. I'll throw it on the table though. All those times that we heard her say, shh, I said, shh. She wasn't telling us to shut up. Because why would she? We're not in the room. We're not saying anything. In my opinion, just a theory, she was actually telling herself to shut up. Because sometimes as a person, when you're doing something that you know you shouldn't be doing, that you're doing something that's not good for you, that inner voice speaks up. You get those thoughts in your mind, like, you shouldn't be doing this. This is bad for you. And her verbally saying, Shh, I said shh. She was telling that inner voice to be quiet. She didn't want to hear it. She was being defiant to herself. Her inner voice was trying to speak up and say, "Don't do this, Chantal. Cut it out." And she was literally telling it to be quiet. And she hasn't done that shh, I said shh thing in a while. So I think maybe after a while, the inner voice did go quiet. And that's always a bad thing.
And it's easier to do that than to do other content and be held accountable. You know, it's easier. It's more effortless. You turn on the camera, you stuff your face. It's, you know,
Right. And that's why she does it. That's exactly why. And she said that multiple times. I like doing the food content because it's effortless, it's lazy, it's easy. All I got to do is just turn on a camera and film it and then post it, and boom, I make money. That's all she has to do. It's lazy content. Just go out, get some food, bring it home, turn the camera on, eat, talk a little bit, post it, done. She does not want to change that system. She wants to be able to make money and do no work.
oh, there's not really the way I would do it anyway. And I have had success with doing mukbang on my channel in the beginning, but another nail in that coffin is having opened up and sharing my addiction and eating disorder with you guys. And I just I think that's just completely changed everything. And I'm starting a new chapter of my life. I need to do a glow up. I need to work on myself. This is, I mean, how many hints do I need to get? Health problems, breakup. Like this is a new chapter in my life.
So Foodie and BB broke up, but she was still living with him. That's why she's doing this video. That's why this video happened. It had nothing to do with her having a wake-up moment with herself. This was her, I fucked up. I had this good man, this good, hard-working man that he just can't take anymore. And she's feeling sorrowful for herself. Like she fucked up. And you did screw up, Chantal. You had a good man in BB. He was a good, hard-working man. He was a loving man. He did what he could do. He tried. But this whole issue with food, it's over your head, it's over his head. That's why you need professional help. No man that you invite into your life is going to be able to fix what's broken with you. It's too much. It's too severe. That's why professionals are needed. Somebody coming along and just saying, hey, just go to the gym. Hey, just eat smaller portions is not going to fix the problem. You would need a whole team of people to help you get a hold of all the problems that are going on with you, both mentally, psychologically, and physically. You would need a whole team of doctors, psychologists, therapists. You need therapy severely, but you won't ever get it, because if you went into therapy, you would have to confront yourself and be truthful with yourself and be real with yourself. And you're not ready for that. You don't want to face everything. You'd rather run away and escape from things because that's easy. Facing things and facing yourself is hard. You don't want that hard moment, so you're constantly running away from it.
My life, and I have to make it about me, and I have to make it about healing myself and getting better. And I came home today. I wanted to binge so bad, and had a binge urge, and I ran home and I read the chapter that I haven't read yet about this one man. That's people who who are not food addicts or any addicts of any kind don't really understand, because a lot of people, it's just lunacy to a lot of people. And I understand that when people say, what is it going to take for you to change? How many health problems do you need? I mean, is having blood clots in your lungs not enough?
Yeah, let's look at the health problems. Let's go down the list of things that we know about, because there might be more. Chantal has not been to the doctor in the longest. What are the health problems that we know about? She has had blood clots in her lungs, and she should be on medication for that. She has suffered from depression. She has non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, confirmed. The last time that she spoke to us about her liver, she said it was 3 times the size of what it should be. And that was long ago. It might actually be worse now. She might actually have cirrhosis of the liver. That might be a possibility. She also has diabetes. She has trouble breathing to the point where she has to wear a CPAP. I mean, there's all kinds of things going on. So she's got a myriad of health issues, and she's not been to the doctor, and her weight is increasing, which is not helping any of that. Plus, on top of that, she's also got an enlarged heart. So let's do the math, y'all. Every single one of her organs is in bad shape. Her lungs are in bad shape. Her heart is in bad shape. Her kidney is in bad shape. I mean, there might be more stuff. And it just keeps getting worse. And yet she won't do anything. She knows she's in trouble, but yet she gets on camera and she says, I just want to eat. So in my opinion, she's already made her choice. She's choosing the addiction over her life. She's choosing a YouTube paycheck over living. She's literally saying, I don't care about living. I care about making money on YouTube and getting attention from on YouTube, which in my opinion, Chantal, is foolish.
You know, is not being able to walk 2 blocks enough for you. And no, some people, I honestly think some people just never have a rock bottom and they turn out like this man in the book and they die. They eat themselves to death or they drink themselves to death. For some people, it's just not enough. And you just, all you care about, you don't care about that. You know, you don't care about your health. And it's a really hard thing to explain. And the fact that I think that the fact that I'm on here talking about it and the fact that I rushed home and read that chapter, because I don't want that to happen to me, confirms that I don't want that to happen to me. So there is part of me that really wants to fight this over and over again until I get it right.
You know, she says right here she doesn't want it happening to her. But the attitude and the feeling that I'm getting off Chantal anymore is she's given up. She's absolutely given up. She's quit. She's not willing to fight for her life or the quality of her life. She's given up. She's given in to the addiction. I give up. I don't want to fight because fighting would mean I have to work to change things. She'd rather just give in and let whatever happen, happen. She's not looking at life as there's other things that I could do. There's a whole lot of life left. Maybe I should work to save that. Maybe I should work to change that. She's given up. I mean, you saw the video clip. She just said, I just want to eat. That was her saying, I don't care. I don't care about my life. I don't care about my health. I don't even care about you, Salah. I came all the way here to Kuwait. I could have had a different life. I could have changed things around because I'm in a different environment around a different person. But screw it. I just want to eat.
Look at Amber Lynn. She's breaking her cycle. It's taken many.
No, she's not. She's not breaking her cycle. She's caught in a vicious cycle too. And she's doing the same shit you're doing. Talking about her health issues. She wants everybody else to be concerned for her. At the same time, she's not taking an active role in fixing her problem. She's selective like you. One minute she wants to talk about her health problems and get everybody concerned. And, oh, I hope you feel better, Amber. And the next minute, she's doing a freaking video where she's posting a thumbnail showing herself eating food. So glorifying her problem with food. So both of you are fucking stupid. You both are in a position where you've got the money and you've got the time and the resources and the knowledge to do something, to change things, but you're both saying, no, I don't want to change things because I'm on an easy path and I want to stay on it and I don't want to get off of it. If I got off of it, I would actually have to work on myself. And I don't want to do that because I'm just lazy.
Many tries. But I find her very inspiring. And if I'm honest, I'm kind of jealous that I'm very, very, very happy for her. Don't get me wrong. But I'm jealous in the way that I wish that was me. I wish I was down 70 pounds. You know, I'm not going to lie. But I know that I can be. Yeah. I find honestly her very inspirational right now.
Amber Lynn is not inspirational. She's a mess. Nobody should take inspiration from Chantal or Amber.
So
they are both two women, in my opinion, that have monetized their problems with food. They've glorified it. They made a mockery of it, and shame on both of them for doing that.
Just that positivity. I really enjoy that. I don't like the way I feel when I'm doing mukbangs. I find that I don't feel any fulfillment from it. I don't feel fulfillment. I think the best when I was filming way back. Do you guys remember the first time I went on my weight loss journey and that first walk I went for, and I was enjoying the air? So I found a nice area. I can go for a walk.
Yeah, take a look at this, Chantal. This was you then. This was you years ago. You were able to walk more than just a few steps. You're in this clip walking. You're out in the open. You're able to walk. You can't do that now. You walk from one room in your house to the next room, you're out of breath. That doesn't concern you? It should concern you.
See some kind of park. I'll show you guys. Yes. There's like a nice park over here. Some people think
Look at you. You're walking pretty fast, Chantal. Maybe because the clip is sped up, but you were walking. Mama, you were walking. This is something you were able to do years ago. You can't do anymore.
to get off YouTube. Oh, there's a goose. Let's go pet it. Okay. And focus on myself. But you know what? This helps me every day. It gives me a purpose to do it. I mean, when I'm putting together a vlog, I know I put a work into, and I have a good message in there, and I feel good about myself, and I'm connecting with you guys, and I'm inspiring people. That's where I feel the best. When I'm doing, editing, even when I'm editing my mukbang, I get bored. So if I'm bored with my own content, how are other people thinking about it? I think I'm just going to worry less about the pressure of worrying about getting a lot of views, about gaining traction, about all of that stuff. I'm just going to worry about doing my best to do videos that I feel good about, and just leave the rest up to what.
I don't think you care about doing videos that you feel good about. I don't think it's about that. I think it's about you looking at yourself and saying, this is easy content. Eating on camera is easy content, and YouTube allows it. So I'm just going to continue to do it. Whether it's healthy for me or not, I don't care. I make a paycheck. That's all that matters at the end of the day. But what happens if you can't see the next day, Chantal? Honestly. What happens if you reach a point where you don't see the next day because you're underneath the grass? You ever stop to think about that? I mean, your body is an amazing machine. You have put so much into it. You put it through so much, and it's still ticking. I don't know why you insist on punishing yourself. You're punishing your body. For what reason? But it seems like you are. Like you're mad at yourself and you're punishing your body for something. You continue to punish it with all this overeating, and you won't stop. Your body is trying to stay alive, but you're not giving it any help. You need to cut this shit. This is out of control. It's ridiculous. At the end of the day, mama, money doesn't buy you happiness. It doesn't make you happy. You made a lot of money on YouTube. None of it has made you happy. If anything, it's made you unhealthy and unhappy. You are a miserable, unhealthy mess. And right now, you're living in a human hamster cage of your own making. You don't go anywhere. You don't do anything. You're constantly miserable. You're bored. You realize that, and yet you won't break away. You're on YouTube doing this ridiculous food content for what? For the attention of the feeders? They don't give a shit about you. They care about their interest. There are people in your audience, they don't want to see you unhealthy. They are there for you, but you're not leaning into them. You're leaning into the yes men. They just want to see you stuff your pie hole. You're leaning into the poisonous people versus the people that are not poisonous. You got everything all kinds of backwards.
Whatever. I mean, for people to watch or not to watch or whatever, I definitely will not be going back to mukbangs. I don't feel right about it. I feel better when I'm just being real and open with you guys and sharing my struggles, sharing my life. And I think a lot of people just want me to be honest with myself, honest with you guys, and continue to work on getting to a happy healthier place. A lot of you've been watching me for about 3 years, and that's a long time that I've been with you guys. So I understand if a lot of you do come from a place of concern. And, I'm very sorry if I've been very, deafblind to it all. I just really, when I have my mind set on something, I just kind of want to tune out any opposing opinion. And that is something I really want to work on. So I'm going to try my hardest.
You haven't worked on it. See, that's the thing. You've done no work on yourself. You're not open to criticism. You're not open to other people's points of view and perspective and opinion. You have your truth, you have your narrative, and you don't want anybody coming forward and changing it. So you stick with your narrative, as poisonous as it may be, as damaging as it may be. Let's stick with that. Let's go with that. How's that working out for you? Going with that poisonous narrative and hurting yourself with food. How's that working out? Because I don't see it working out at all. What I see anymore when I watch your content is somebody on YouTube who is an addict doing their addiction on video, wanting people to watch them partake of their addiction, and expecting to get paid for it, getting paid for it. You can't heal from something if you're monetizing that something. You can't heal in the same environment that you hurt in. And you certainly can't heal if you continue to hurt yourself. And that's what you're doing. And nobody can stop you but you, Chantal. Nobody. But you're too preoccupied with sticking it to the haters, giving us all the middle finger. This is where your thinking is all kinds of fucked up. You think that by sitting down and eating a 5,000 calorie meal, you're hurting any of us? No, you're hurting yourself. At the beginning of the day and the end of the day, you're hurting yourself. All that food is doing is hurting you. It's not hurting us. We're not partaking of the calories. But it's absolute madness that you get on YouTube and do this crap, stuffing your pie hole, getting yourself to a place where you're immobile or almost immobile. You can't hardly breathe. You can't go anywhere. For what? For hatred of complete strangers that you can't even see. And to support a man who doesn't love you. He's just there for a paycheck. Think I'm lying? Tell him tomorrow that you're broke. Guaranteed he'll run out the door. He's just there for what he needs. Same thing with the feeders. They're around for what they need. You're more concerned about strangers than for yourself.
Is to allow opinions of all forms in my comment section. Just want to follow up on some things that I said in my last video. I don't take back my sentiments of my last video, but I've come to some realizations that regarding the changes to the content of my channel. So just want to clarify, and I've come to some new decisions regarding that, at least for now. Yeah, I think it just makes me really nervous to just all of a sudden be so drastic with the change in my content and my channel. But at the same time, I know you're thinking she's going to go back to mukbangs. No, what I'm proposing to do for myself and my channel is kind of hit a middle, I guess, of make some change, like still make the primary focus on my health and my well-being, especially at a time like this where health is wealth in all sense of the way. But I also think that since we're self-isolating, and it might even get worse where we're going to be forced to isolate, and it could happen because there's still a lot of people roaming around, including I'm guilty of that. I went out and saw my mom and everything when we do need to get things like groceries and stuff like that. But other than that, maybe we should be inside.
Okay, Foodie dated Natter, and when that ended, she had multiple hotel hookups with random men during the pandemic. Yeah, she did that too. But she was still seeing Natter on the side and swearing that she wasn't seeing him, even though she got caught many times being with Natter. And, little fact to be remembered, she accused Natter of doing things to her. She made all these different claims multiple times for multiple hours during her live streams, and then she would go and see him in private in a hotel room, which I thought was weird. Like, I'm so scared of him. I need a safe word. Paper clips. Remember that? Paper clips? But she was still running off to go see Natter. That's why I call her a fake phony victim. But anywho, let's go forward.
Especially with what's going on with my lungs right now. Maybe this is for comfort reasons, but I think maybe other
She was having trouble breathing, and she was having trouble with her lungs even then. And this was years ago. And I'm sure the problem has gotten much worse since then.
people will find comfort in it too if I just kept my content the same for now, but different in the way that.
So basically, what she's saying is, I know I should take care of my health, but I have a YouTube channel and I'm making money with these mukbang videos, and I don't want to lose that. She's more concerned about making money on YouTube and the views and the subs rather than her own life. You're making the wrong things priorities, Chantal.
It won't be mukbangs. I'm not going to label them mukbangs. I'm not going to go out of my way to eat 2 burgers or do fast food. I'm going to be cooking my meals, and even if they're just simple meals like chicken and mashed potatoes, I'll just have a dinner with me and we'll talk different.
Just looking at her face, the feeling that I'm getting here is that she's nervous. She's nervous about just doing the home cooked meals and changing up her content to where it's not fast food anymore, because that was the draw for her channel, her getting on camera and eating fast food. So she's getting all kinds of subs and attention and views and money from eating the fast food. And she's like, I'm on a high roll right now. I'm on a high tide with the money and the attention and the subs and the views. And I'm afraid that if I change things, all those people will go away.
Subjects. Sometimes I'll do videos without food for those who enjoy that. I'm not going to make it obnoxious eating or anything, so that people who don't even like really watching people eat will enjoy it. Just be like having dinner with a friend. When you're out with dinner with somebody, you watch them you're watching them eat or whatever. So have dinner with me and we'll talk about things that are going on. It can help relieve anxiety and maybe able to help relieve stress. That's my hope. And whenever I'm able to do so and do more, I still will do some videos without food, like makeup videos, or like I said, maybe just sit down and talk videos once in a while. But I do like the idea of just not labeling my videos mukbangs, but like have dinner with me and I can set my camera.
Are you kidding me? Chantal, she goes out of her way to find the words that are trending, to put tags on her videos that are trending, to attract different groups of people. Words like obesity, mukbang, binge, whatever it takes. She pays attention to analytics. She pays attention to, what people are looking at the most. And she'll deliberately put things in the titles and in the tags to attract those people to her channel.
Camera up there, we can cook together, we can have a meal together, and it will just be like a daily evening way of dealing with everything, because so many people are shut in inside. And I may have jumped the gun a bit yesterday in my video changes, and I do that a lot, and I bring that on myself. I take full responsibility for the reception of how I kind of change my mind a lot about my content. My sentiments are the same.
As far as her changing her mind about her content, that has to do a lot with what's trending, what's popular, what will make me the most money, what will get me the most attention. That's where the changing her mind comes into play. It's all about the money, y'all. It's always been about the money.
Sick of, focusing on making the food as delicious, as large, competing with mukbangers. That's not going to be my goal.
Oh, there we go. Oh, I'm so glad you said that. I'm competing with other mukbangers. And that's how she looks at it. I'm competing with other people because I want attention and I want to make the most money on this platform. So I have to compete with other people. I can't just be on my channel doing my thing, my way. No, I got to be doing the most. It's all about competing with other people. Is it, Chantal? If somebody else does a mukbang, mine has to be bigger. If they eat a certain amount of fast food, I have to eat more. That's the problem right there. You're not on your channel just doing your content and doing your thing and minding your business. It's all about paying attention to what other people are doing and seeing how they're making money and copying from that and even competing with other people. So it's not entirely about what you want to do. It's about, I just want to have a big channel on YouTube.
goal. I'm going to be cooking wholesome meals, and it's going to be a different vibe than the mukbangs I used to do. And I know I've said that before too, but I think it's just the best thing right now. So I guess I'll see you guys. I'm just going to sometimes just vlog my day, but like I said, we're kind of shut in. So, you know, having a meal together, a wholesome meal, that's my condition. And I'm serious about that.
Yeah, we see how serious you are.
6 days later.
I have 6 chicken nuggets.
So a week later, and what are we doing? Back to the fast food.
Oreo McFlurry, Fruitopia, with strawberry Fruitopia, sauces, Big Mac sauce, everything. So yeah. You sneeze. You sneeze and stampedes.
So that was a video from What's Happening. Great video, What's Happening. Really appreciate you putting that out there. And I will be leaving the link for your video in the video description. Please go check it out. Give them a thumbs up. I already have. Leave a comment. But yeah, so that was Chantal back then. And this is Chantal now. Tell me exactly what's changed. The location changed. Maybe her clothing changed, but she hasn't. So she's known for years that she's got a problem with food. Has she slowed down? No. Has she changed at all? No. Giving us the same word salad over and over. I know I got a problem. I'm going to try to change it. Oh, wait. No, I'm not going to change it. Oh, wait. I'm going to do another mukbang, even though I know I shouldn't do a mukbang. Because in her words, that's a slippery slope if you got a problem with food, and it is. And the only way to stay off that slope is to don't get on it in the first place. So she's still on that slippery slope. And now she's around somebody that she's been lying to about, I'm going to fix my problem. And clearly she's not fixing her problem. Salah, you are not the first man in her life that has come into her life that she's lied to, that she's made promises to, and has left her because they just couldn't take it anymore. Looks like you might be next in line, bro. But if you leave, understand that this problem with her, it's over her head, it's over your head. She would need a team of doctors and specialists and therapists to help her. And if she's not reaching out for them, this problem will continue for as long as it does. So what are your thoughts, everybody? Would love to hear from you. Please leave your comments in the comments section. And please check out What's Happening's video. Again, I'll leave a link for that in the description. Everyone, take care and have a great day.